Apollo Control, Houston. We're 2 minutes now from time of reacquiring Apollo 13. Meanwhile, we have an update on the impact of the third stage of the Saturn, the S4B. Our latest estimate indicates impact at 77 hours, 56 minutes, 27 seconds ground elapsed time. The predicted coordinates for impact, 26 degrees, 57 minutes south longitude, latitude 28 degrees, 27 minutes west. Coming up now on 1 minute to AOS, and we'll stand by and continue to monitor. This is Apollo Control, Houston. Standing by now for acquisition.
Houston, how do you read? Houston, reading you about 3 by 3. Camera, bombed out. Okay, Fred, reading you fairly well now. How do you read? Okay, I read you loud and clear, man. Roger.
Apollo Control Houston, 77 hours, 38 minutes into the flight. Apollo 13 has now rounded the corner, headed back towards Earth. We show a velocity of... a velocity of 7,062 feet per second. And a distance from the moon of 566 nautical miles. ...77 hours, 40 minutes now into the flight. We show Apollo 13 at 630 nautical miles away from the moon. Our ignition clock shows 1 hour, 47 minutes time remaining until start of the descent propulsion system burn.
Go ahead, Aquarius.
Roger, we still wanted activation start time for our burn.
Understand, you want a power-up time, is that affirmed?
That's affirmed.
Okay, stand by.
Okay, look, let's get the cameras squared away. Let's get all set to burn. So, you have one chance, pal. You're not going to hack it at 152 hours.
Aquarius, Houston, over.
Go ahead, Houston.
Jim, regarding the start time for the power-up, you mentioned an hour and 15 minutes. We think that's adequate. This is crew preference. Depending on how much time you think you need, we would go along with an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay, sounds good. Hour and 15 minutes.
That's the power-up activation time for the descent propulsion system engine burn. We're now at 77 hours, 46 minutes into the flight of Apollo 13. Apollo 13 now 872 nautical miles away from the moon. Meanwhile, in Mission Control Center, one of our special purpose clocks is counting down to the predicted time of S4B impact. We show 10 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Apollo Control Houston, 77 hours, 49 minutes now into the mission. We presently show Apollo 13, 1,007 nautical miles away from the moon. Its velocity slowing down now relative to the moon, now reading 6,399 feet per second. Apollo Control Houston, 77 hours, 52 minutes now into the flight. We show 5 minutes away now from time of predicted impact of the S-4B.
Houston, over.
Go ahead, Houston.
Okay, Jim, we have about 3 items for you. We have maneuver pads, P30 LM maneuver again, and the maneuver pad for the CM for splashdown. We also have a checklist change in the LM contingency checklist. And I'll stand by while you're gathering the books.
Okay, I got the contingency book, so give me that one first.
Okay, page 18.
Okay, I'm at page 18.
Okay, about halfway down, when propellant quantity equals 30%, or rather 37%, we would like to change that line to read when time to go is equal to 10 seconds. And of course, the line under that remains the same then. You send HE Reg 1 to close. affirm. Before I start on the pads, another comment. The general indications that we gave you before about the sun being in the commander's window and about stars in the AOT, such as that might be used for a general indication of your attitude for the burn, that's all out the window. We're just going on the sun check that we made earlier, and we don't feel we have information that's good enough to give you the star and the sun in the window information. Okay, you're very weak now. When you're ready to take the P-30 LM maneuver pad, why I'll be reading it up. Okay, this is P-30 LM maneuver pad. PC plus 2 hours, starting with noun 33. 079 27 3830 plus 08330 minus 00509 minus 02139 NA plus 00205 08615 424 272 081, and the rest is NA except for comments as follows. Ullage 2 jet 10 seconds. CSM weight 62480. LEM weight 33452. And the dip's throttle profile is the same as before. 5 seconds at minimum, 21 seconds at 40%, and the remainder of the time at max. Over. Okay, Aquarius, Houston, you're coming in about 1 by 1 now. Advise that I heard everything except the beginning, noun, 33 values, and the comments. Please repeat the read back on those.
Okay, I'm going to come up with the power amp here.
Hello, Houston. How do you read Aquarius now?
Hey, you're loud and clear now.
Okay, I got the power amp now. PC plus 2 hours. 079er 27 3830 plus 08330 minus 00509er minus 02139er in slash A plus 00205 08615 424 272 081 rest in slash A, haulage to jet 10 seconds, CSM weight 62480, limb weight 33452, dips throttle profile the same, 5 seconds idle, 40%, 21 seconds, remainder at max.
Raj, 40% for 21 seconds, I believe is what you read back, and all the rest is correct. Now for the maneuver pad for the CSM. Over.
Okay, stand by. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Fredo, this is maneuver pad monitor PC plus 2 hours. All NA until you get to noun 61. Latitude minus 2165 minus 16500 11635 36292 142 3922. Over.
Monitor plane change plus 2, down 81, minus 2165, minus 16500, 11635, 36292, 142 3922.
Raj, that was starting with noun 61, and that's correct. By the way, Aquarius, we see the results now from 12's seismometer. Looks like your booster just hit the moon, and it's rocking it a little bit. Over.
Well, at least something worked on this flight.
And I just want to verify one thing.
Yeah,
We could... Go ahead.
I'm sure glad we didn't have a limb impact, too.
Right. Just wanted to verify. We had poor reception when I was talking to you before. I wanted to verify that you understand that the sun check you made earlier in the AOT was good, and that's what we're riding on. Anything we told you in the past about looking at the sun in the front left window or looking at stars like Nunki through the AOT, why we want to forget.
Roger, understand, Vance. I think Nunki would be kind of hard to see anyway with the moon right here.
Right.
Apollo Control Houston, 78 hours 4 minutes. Apollo 13 now 1,704 nautical miles away from the moon. Velocity now reading 5,768 feet per second. Vance Brand passed up a new PC plus 2 hour maneuver pad, which reflected a time of ignition of 79 hours 27 minutes, 38 seconds.
Plan to start powering up at 7812. Is that a good time, or do you think we ought to hold off a little longer?
Jim, we think that's very good.
The descent propulsion system burn should produce a posigrade delta V of 861 feet per second with this pad. Burn duration, 4 minutes, 24 seconds. We're at 78 hours, 5 minutes now into the flight, and this is Apollo Control, Houston.
Apollo 13, Houston, or Aquarius, Houston.
Go ahead.
Fred, after the burn, we'll get the power down instructions or checklist changes to you. At the same time, we'd like to get a consumable status to you. All that I'll say right now is that we think you look in reasonably good shape.
Okay, very good. Okay, Houston, Aquarius.
Go ahead.
Okay, one caution and warning light here, Sean. It didn't call out as a preempt, I suppose, because we don't have the ATC breaker in yet.
Okay, that's okay.
Houston, are you planning to give us a state mix update?
That's affirmed, Jim. All we need is update a link circuit breaker closed on panel 11 and PU and accept, and we can ship it up to you. PU and data.
Okay, Vance, we're in data and PU, and the circuit breaker's in. Go ahead.
Okay, we'll ship her up to you.
This is Apollo Control, Houston, 78 hours, 20 minutes now into the flight of Apollo 13. At present, the Apollo 13 spacecraft is 2,461 nautical miles away from the moon and traveling at a speed of 5,343 feet per second. We show 1 hour, 7 minutes away from time of ignition of the descent propulsion system burn.
Aquarius, Houston.
Go ahead, Houston.
Jim, request verify ranging function switches in ranging. We need that if it's not there now.
You got it, Vance.
Thank you.
Apollo Control, Houston, 78 hours, 23 minutes now into the flight. The crew of Apollo 13 continuing to proceed on their activation checklist.
And computer's yours.
Like that. You don't want to take those boundaries out.
Flight Dynamics advises flight Director Gene Kranz that there will be no requirement to update the PC plus 2-hour maneuver pad.
Aquarius Houston, did you call?
We didn't call Houston.
Okay. Aquarius Houston, over.
Houston, are you calling Aquarius?
Roger, Fred. I'd like to confirm that you're getting drinking water out of, potable water out of the command module. And if you can make any estimates of how much you use as time goes on and how much you have used, we'd appreciate it for our consumables analysis.
Okay.
This is Apollo Control Houston at 78 hours 30 minutes. We now show Apollo 13 2900.
Tried the procedure, and out of that pressure, we got 10 drinks made. That's roughly 80 ounces.
We now show Apollo 13 2958 nautical miles away.
We had a little static on that one, but I think you said 80 ounces of water's been used out of the CM. Is that right?
Yeah, Jack worked the procedure and filled as many of the drinks as he could, and he made up 10 bags, approximately 8 ounces a bag.
Okay, we copy that.
Apollo 13 now traveling at a speed of 5,129 feet per second.
Aquarius Houston.
Go ahead, Houston.
Jim, just a bit of information. If for any reason you had to slip TIG, why people here feel it wouldn't do much harm if you slipped it up to 30 minutes. The procedure, of course, as you know, is just not to pro on the flashing 99, and we thought you'd like to be aware that TIG time isn't all that critical.
Roger, understand.
That discussion between Vance Brand and Jim Lovell was concerned with the time of ignition for the paracynthian plus 2-hour burn. We're at 78 hours, 37 minutes now to the flight of Apollo 13. This is Apollo Control Houston. At 78 hours, 38 minutes, we now show Apollo 13 at a distance of 3,268 nautical miles away from the moon. and at a velocity of 5,030 feet per second. Our countdown clock shows 49 minutes, 30 seconds from time of ignition. This is Apollo Control, Houston.
Okay, Vance Aquarius.
Go, Fred.
Okay, I think it's finally coming through to us there, what you just said a little while ago. Were you suggesting that we move the TIG up 30 minutes?
Nope, not at all. We're just giving you excess information. Just saying if you had any problem at all, it could be slipped.
Oh, okay, slipped 30 minutes. Okay, that's better.
Right. You guys are pretty fast, though.
Yeah, it kind of surprised us.
I guess that's what happens when you cut a lot out of a checklist.
Yep. Yeah, we've taken about 1,000 pictures in between steps there, too. Okay, Houston Aquarius, radio check.
Loud and clear, Fred.
Okay, I had a change in the background noise. Just wondered if you're still there.
Right.
Apollo Control, Houston, 78 hours, 46 minutes now into the flight. We're 41 minutes away from scheduled time of ignition on our Paracynthian plus 2-hour burn for the Apollo 13. Apollo 13 now 3,664 nautical miles out from the moon. Velocity now reading 4,913 feet per second. Apollo Control, Houston, 78 hours, 57 minutes now into the flight. Flight Director Gene Kranz just advising his team that he'll go around the room at about minus 10 minutes for a final go-no-go for the burn. We now show Apollo 13 at 4,146 nautical miles away from the moon, and at a velocity of 4,791 feet per second.
Apollo 13, Houston.
Houston Aquarius. Go ahead, Houston.
Okay, Aquarius, we have some new information regarding what you should see out the commander's window at TIG. Over.
Okay, go ahead.
According to calculations, you should see the moon. It'll be a full moon. You should see most of the disk, and it should be somewhere on your vertical LPD line, probably at about 14 on the LPD scale. Over. Roughly centered on 14.
Okay, Houston, I concur. I'm looking at 14 on the LPD, and the angle is just about centered. It's to south of Christium, but it's the line is just slightly to north of center.
Okay, Jim, that sounds very good. We see that you have a slight yaw angle, so it should be north of center.
Apollo Control, Houston, 70.
Maryland from here.
The reference that Jim Lovell made there was one of the mountains that he named during his flight of Apollo 8. This is Apollo Control, Houston. We're at 79 hours, 10 minutes now to the flight, 18 minutes away from time of scheduled ignition on our Paracynthian plus 2-hour burn. This will be performed in computer program 40 aboard the lunar module. The DIPS thrusting program using the primary navigation and guidance system. Lovell and Hayes will be in Aquarius at the time of the burn with Jack Schweikert in Odyssey. We'll stand by and continue to monitor. We now show Apollo 13, 4,717 nautical miles out from the moon and traveling at a speed of 4,675 feet per second. This is Apollo Control, Houston. Apollo Control, Houston, 79 hours, 13 minutes, less than 15 minutes away now from time of scheduled ignition. We show 13 at a distance of 4,839 nautical miles out from the moon and at a velocity of 4,651 feet per second. Within the next several minutes, Flight Director Gene Krantz is expected to go around the room for a go, no-go status from each member of his flight control team. We're at 79 hours, 14 minutes into the flight, continuing to monitor. This is Apollo Control, Houston. Apollo Control, Houston, 79 hours, 17 minutes. Flight Director Gene Kranz now going around the room for a go, no-go status from each member of his team. We're go for the burn. Apollo 13 now 5,039 nautical miles away from the moon, traveling at a speed of 4,616 feet per second.
Aquarius, Houston, over.
Go ahead, Houston.
Jim, you are go for the burn. Go for the burn.
Roger, understand. Go for the burn.
This is Apollo Control, Houston. We're a little over 6 minutes now away from time of scheduled ignition at 79 hours, 21 minutes. Meanwhile, in Mission Control, both the viewing room and floor of the Mission Operations Control Room have filled up with a considerable number of people. Among those here tonight are Dr. Thomas Payne, NASA Administrator, Mr. George Lowe, Deputy Administrator of NASA, Frank Borman, who commanded the flight of Apollo 8 and Gemini 7, and had a flying companion named Jim Lovell. Ken Mattingly is here. Al Shepard, commander of Apollo 14, is on the Mocher floor at this time, as is Ed Mitchell, the Lunar module pilot, along with Stu Russa, who is scheduled to fly in the command module for that flight. We're coming up on 5 minutes until scheduled time of ignition. Gene Kranz has checked with a couple of his systems, or members of his flight control team who monitor systems. They indicate they're happy with the data they're looking at now. We're standing by, continuing to monitor. This is Apollo Control, Houston. "79 hours, 23 minutes into the flight, we show Apollo 13 at 5,263 nautical miles relative to the moon, and traveling at a velocity of 4,578 feet per second. Apollo Control Houston, less than 3 minutes away now from scheduled time of ignition. As we look at one of our displays in the Mission Control Center, we see that Apollo 13's lunar module is now in program 40. That's the Descent Propulsion System thrusting program.
It's in 40 seconds to go on the mark. Mark. Or that was standby.
What was that, Mark?
Standby. That was incorrect. 3 minutes. Counting down to 3 minutes, and I'll give you a mark, and I'll take into consideration 2 seconds. Mark.
Roger, we got you.
"79 hours, 25 minutes into the flight. Apollo 13 now at a distance of 5,349 nautical miles away from the moon. Velocity now reading 4,564 feet per second relative to the moon. Less than 2 minutes away now from scheduled time of ignition. Velocity reading 4,560 feet per second. Distance from the moon, 5,383 nautical miles. One minute away now from scheduled time of ignition.
Roger.
Apollo 13 now 5,426 nautical miles out from the moon, traveling at a speed of 4,552 feet per second. Less than 30 seconds away. The engine is armed, standing by. Ground confirms ignition.
We're burning 40%.
Houston copies.
Attitude looks good at this point.
Roger. Whereas Houston, you're looking good.
Roger.
1 minute now into the burn. Dips is looking good. 2 minutes into the burn.
Chris, you were looking good at 2 minutes. Still looking good.
2 minutes, Roger.
Velocity building up. Disky shows we've gained 451 feet per second at this time. Reports to Flight Director Gene Krantz indicate all systems are looking good. Coming up on 3 minutes into the burn.
Chris, your go at 3 minutes.
Quiet, Roger.
The onboard display shows less than a minute to go in the burn now. Coming up on 4 minutes into the burn.
Don't forget descent reg 1 off, 10 seconds to go.
Shut down.
Roger, shutdown.
That was Commander Jim Lovell reporting shutdown. The engine is off. We're at 79 hours, 32 minutes into the flight.
Are you reading 1640, Houston?
Roger, we're reading it.
We'll proceed. Here's our residuals.
Roger, very small.
Apollo control. 79 hours, 33 minutes, 5,707 nautical miles out from the moon at this time.
I say that was a good burn.
Fine, so now we want to power down as soon as possible.
Raj, understand.